Show. I'm your host, Mr. Big Braids, coming to you live from a reservation somewhere, taking a look at BTC and the rest of the market. Been an exciting day out there, getting cold across this country, and getting pretty cold right here where I'm at. Had to stoke up the fire a little while ago just to keep it at least a little bit decently warm. I mean, make sure you guys are warming up your vehicles and such like that. If you get diesels, make sure you get plenty of anti-gel. Definitely comes in handy. But we got BTC at 16,849. I hope everybody's having an awesome time and staying warm or staying cool or just loving that weather as is. We got, decent news across the board. Visa, definitely interested in doing some ETH. A little bit of bullish news, as you can tell. Got a little bit, somebody posting Bitcoin price recovery could fade if BTC fails to surpass 17.2. Well, we got 17.2 on the as far as an area of interest, so we've been keeping an eye on it. So as far as making some bullish moves to the upside, we definitely got to get over that 17.223, make it over that 17.477, and start working on that 18.265 for some breakout action. Let's make it a little bit more. Get a 18.396. Sounds like we got some action going on out there. definitely got some dang coyotes running around lately, getting a little bit dangerous out in this cold weather, especially for my dogs running around out there. But what can you do? So here we are with BTC 16,852. Definitely excited to see it. It's hitting some sideways action over the long term. A lot of people talking about lower price action. We've been out here. We've been waiting for that lower price action. When's it going to happen? Is it going to be some capitulation down to the downside? A lot of holders out there. A lot of people out there in the market just been buying in over time and over the long run, long course of things. BTC still getting some decent news across the board. Got one hell of a grid. It don't even know what it wants to do, but it's definitely been holding above that 15,475. So here we are waiting around for that low price action. Are we going to get it? That just remains to be seen. A lot of stuff going on in the news like we've been talking about in the last few videos. Definitely a lot of just drastic events that definitely affected the market overall over the past year, going into 2023, getting down into the end of December here, and I'm definitely excited to see where we're going into the new year. Definitely been out here accumulating across on some awesome sales price action. Sales accumulation has been amazing. Well, got a lot of fear out there in the market, and I love that fear. I love it when we have a lot of fear in the market because it brings that sales price action down to some low prices, some low price sales price action, makes it affordable for everybody. Get a lot of coins, at some low price action. And, I got diamond hands across the board. I'm in this for the long run, doing that generational wealth. I steadily diversify. Been doing some stocks and some total crypto. Nike, I've been talking about Nike. We were talking about that months back. It's been a while since but I gotta throw it out there. Nike's moving. I've been loving that accumulation. That's one that we were talking about back in the day when you do own stock in that. Depending on where you get it from, a lot of times they'll send you some shoes and stuff like that, and every certain times of the year. A lot of companies do that. You just gotta look for those little perks and such that come with owning stock, and figure out where to get it from, but you always gotta remember this is not financial advice. These are my views and opinions on the market only, and you always gotta do what's right for you. So, a few things that come out of investing and holding over the long term that I've definitely been able to take advantage of over time. And just like crypto, like they're out there looking at, trying to get some tokens and people who, offering different types of staking, and there's just a list and grip of different kinds of projects that are out there. So be sure to do some research and look at where you're throwing your money in, and make sure it's not some scam coin that's going to just take everything. A lot of research goes into a lot of them. I mean, you should know where you're putting your money at. I mean, you have to. I mean, you got to at least know. I mean, it's that's in the beginning. Yeah, that's exactly what I used to do. But that was back when we were in the bullish runs. You could almost there wasn't very many coins to even pick from. So now that there's plenty of time, you got me telling you to do some research. So you got a lot of people telling you to do a lot of research on the companies that you go into. Make sure. Yeah, like a lot of people, I feel bad for that FTX situation because that was like, I mean, a lot of people probably had all their eggs in one basket, and that's one thing that we talk about weekly. Put all your eggs in one basket. So many hackings going on. I mean, I hear problems with banks all the time. From people around the way. I hear all the issues they have with banks, and then we hear issues with different companies. So I make sure that I have plenty of different areas. It's like an Easter egg hunt. I need your eggs in multiple baskets, but that's just my plan. That's what I stick to. I don't leave all my eggs in one basket, so I definitely spread it around. So if somebody gets jacked, I'm still gonna have some backups. So, and then with a lot of the companies today, when you do start filing for that money that you lose, it takes like freaking 2 weeks or maybe even a month to get it back, and you're sitting there like, what happened to my cash? And it's like I all in it, all in one basket, and that's what hurts a lot of people across the market, and and that's just something that you just got to keep an eye on. So, I feel so bad for everybody that had everything in the FTX. I see those reports all day long from, across the board, people talking about losing everything, having all their life savings into the freaking one area, and they lost everything, and they're upset. But it's just definitely got to diversify. Definitely got to spread it around. I mean, why not? I mean, it's I use so many different platforms. Uh, it gets a little bit outrageous. I always have to write down all my passwords. It's just such lock them up in the vault. I'm ready for the long term. Make sure I know the right people have them. So, those are some things that I keep an eye on the regular. But and I always make sure that I buy the insurance. I always make sure that I buy that extra safety package that they got. It's $20-$30, but that's definitely added protection because I'd rather have somebody say, you know what, I'm going to look for your cash. I'm going to find it rather than saying, you know what, sir, you didn't buy any of the stuff, the extra stuff, the protection. So it's not much we can do about it. And I've heard that before, a few times, and I was like, what happened? What happened? Where'd my cash go? There was a few platforms that I jumped on, and I made a few purchases, and they could not help me for nothing. And I bought into a company, and the cash just went somewhere. I don't know where it went, but it went somewhere. Nothing showed up, no purchases, nothing came through. But they fixed it. But I was on hold for like freaking almost a month to get it back, and that was like that was a long wait. And I learned that right away in the beginning, so that's when I just now started throwing in, and I was just now beginning at a decent job way years back, and so nowadays it's like well, just throw whatever I can into the every 2 weeks, and that's what us blue collars do. All of us out here working weekly, and I'm definitely saving for the long term, and I've kept my cash in the bank, and it seems like it's always getting jacked from the bank too. I mean, whatever comes, they just give it away when somebody asks for it. They're like, here, and it's like, wait, what? I've had people walk into my bank and say, hey, man, you know what? This is me, and the tellers give them my cash. I've had that happen, and that's just totally worthless. I go in there and I'm like, well, what can I do about it? Or like, we can't get your money back because they already checked it out. It's like, why did you let them check my money out when that wasn't even me? So those are some things that you kind of run into, especially with banks, and that's one thing that that's a bad thing that I have against the banks, because that does happen. That has happened to me multiple times, and that is a big reason why I don't trust banks and all the charges they give you. You get it costs me. I mean, the cost to if you really balance out, you can decide on how much you're going to spend on what you're going to keep your money in, because every transaction costs anyways. And then when you go to the bank, it's like $5 to check out some money. some cash, so or use the ATM on the daily. So that just it's a nuisance, especially if I know my money's not safe in there. If I know my money can get taken by at any minute. But at this point, I know where my cash is. It stays there. Nobody needs to know where I put it, you know? I mean, I'm sure, yeah, the government, whatever, they tighten those rules or whatever, but I'm not doing nothing wrong. So my cash is in there and it's where I want it. And, that's my plan and that's what I stick to doing it. So, I don't want to worry about some teller telling me that, my cash is, gone or they gave it away. At least now it's like, I know where every transaction is traced across the board. And as far as I've been reading into it, transactions are traced easily. They can trace anything online, and and it's getting better and better every day. And just like we were talking about last night with the dollar exchange passing cash hand to hand, it's just been with all this COVID and viruses spreading and new diseases across the board, it gets more important to not be passing dollar bills out of your wallet. So it's getting to where I can bring out like a bunch of ones and I'll be like go through them and then be like, you never know where they've been at. There's writings across the board. And I mean, it tells you sometimes where it's been to. Like we were down at the stripper bar down in St. Louis. Signed this. It was I wrote it through some titties. I mean, those are some things that your dollar bills go through, and online you can just basically do whatever you want online and get it done with the quickness. And you got all your passwords set up. You know what you're doing. You got your clock in, clock outs, cash in, cash outs, and getting into the 13-minute area. I was just randomly going off. I got a lot to talk about. I definitely want to talk about more topics. So if anybody's got some topics out there, I'm ready to talk about something, anything. We'll talk about some weed. We'll talk about some strains. We'll talk about UFOs. We'll talk about life and times across the seas, whatever you want to. You want to hear a story? Ask me. I definitely got a lot of stories because I'm a writer. I write a lot of books. I write some stories. I just finished a book today, actually, about an hour and a half ago. That's where we're starting at this later time because it took me a bit. Editing and such is just as many times. I've done it many times because this will be my 5th book that I've wrote, and it's just it they change it up so much, and it gets easier over time. But when you're doing multiple different types of books and changing the dimensions and such like that, it just throws it all off. So, but yeah, definitely getting into that 14-minute area. We got BTC at 16,843. We definitely got to keep an eye on 16,764 area. If we do lose that price action, definitely could see some lower price action. It did try to make it down that to some lower price action before, got that move back up to the upside, so could go wherever at this point. Definitely excited to see where we're going. Definitely bullish if we can get over that 17,223. Definitely extremely bullish if we can get over that 18,265 and breakout action. I got that set at around 18,926. So definitely got to keep an eye on that price action. We'll be back tomorrow with more updates to see where we're at. Sales price action across the board on sales on stocks and crypto. So for everybody and all the coins we talked about tonight, good luck. And you always got to remember, this is not financial advice. These are my views and opinions on the market only. And you always got to do what's right for you. So you always have a good afternoon, good evening, good morning, and good day. Mr. Big Braids is signing out.